Hello and welcome to my studio. I'm Helen Alice Johnson Artist, and each week I show you what I've been up to from the previous week in my studio. This week I have spent a lot of time wrestling with this painting. I say wrestling because it's causing me all sorts of pain, but alongside that, to give myself a little bit of a break, I've also been out and about. So I'm going to have a look at that. Morning, and I am sat in the middle of the countryside in France. It's a gorgeous but very chilly morning, and I'm experimenting with different materials and different ideas, putting myself a little bit out of my comfort zone. What I particularly didn't like about this painting was the fact that it was very lopsided. I'd worked a lot on the right hand side on the square and then almost abandoned this left hand side, and what I wanted to do was try to level that up somehow. So I went onto the iPad, which is a really easy way of being able to slap paint on all over the place without fear of doing something that is going to take months to correct. Worked on the iPad, I still struggled with the kind of lopsidedness of the painting. It was very heavy on the right hand side, so I'd got my small one on the go, which was a kind of preparatory study for the large one anyway. And what I did was I worked on this in more detail, thinned out all this top section, which was a bit kind of heavy. I'm really quite happy with this now. I've just got a couple of lines that I'm just going to put on there as kind of like little accent lines, and then that will be almost finished. And so I wanted to put more of that into the big one. Having thought long and hard, having worked on the iPad, having looked at the small one, I had a brave moment and painted over all this orange that I'd got on the top section. If you see earlier videos, you'll have seen this, it was all orange up there and too heavy. So I've taken all that out. I've also added a whole load of mistletoe. These are mistletoe trees, so I've added a whole load of mistletoe to create a kind of pattern going on this left hand side to try to balance it. I've also thinned out the I don't know what you call them, but the things that come off the bridge. I was always going to do that, so I've actually done that. I've still got this one to thin out a little bit. I'll leave it thicker, but it will be much thinner than it is and more of a kind of a nice curve. I'm not particularly happy with the mistletoe now I've put it in. It looks a little bit like a Christmas card, but I like the kind of concept, so I'll work on that and see where it takes me. This is now the stage that I'm at where it's going to be left for a while because I'm going back to the UK and I've got no way of getting it back home at the moment. I'm not in the van, so that's quite good because it means I'll have lots of thinking time for this painting. I will probably work over on the iPad over back in the UK on it until I come back in 10 weeks time with fresh eyes and I'm able to, hopefully, fingers crossed, get it finished. Thanks ever so much for watching. Hopefully you found that interesting, and at least seen that it's not just a case of putting a bit of paint on and then it's finished. It's taken me months, this painting. I've got 3 different versions going on, and it's all very complicated and still not finished. Hope that you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, please do so at Instagram at Helen Alice Johnson Artist. And also subscribe to my mailing list. I do a free giveaway every Monday, www.helenalicejohnsonartist.com, and hope to see you next week. Thanks again.